Alright, I went and got new batteries. It's a beautiful day outside. Thinking about playing some basketball. Anyone want to join me? Even though you guys all live like 5 states away and non-Hickville. But anyway, last video was discussing tips for soldering and keeping your area clean. And I guess I pretty much covered everything that you need to know. Again, keep your wires, I don't think I discussed this, keep your wires out of the way of anything that, well, you see this, you see that screw? That's going to be your T6 or T10, can't remember which one it is, but it's going to be one of those long screws. And you see how I have a wire that's kind of touching that orange? I want to get that out of the way. Now this wire right here up top should not be a problem, but this one might. It might get in the way, so I'm going to tape that down later on, and once I finish this video, and get it out of the way. So, oh shit, I dropped some solder on the board. Fuck. Okay, clean that up. Yeah, okay, another thing. That reminds me. On your soldering iron, if you get too much solder on it, it will drip, and you do not want that. Make sure your legs are out of the way, your arms, legs, anything, because when I'm listening to music while I do this, kind of ran out of battery, so I gotta go charge it, but I get kind of caught in the music and I don't pay attention to what I'm doing, and I picked up my soldering iron, not by the orange part, but by the metal part, which is probably about 600 degrees, and I picked that up. So now my finger has a fucking blister on it, and I'm not liking that, and it burns like a bitch. So try not to pick your soldering iron up by where the part that's burning insanely hot. Okay? And another thing, let's see. You see that spot on the cement there? That's solder. I got too much on the iron and it just dripped. Luckily my legs were out of the way, because that would have burned horribly. And dropped some on my shorts right there, nothing big, but that stuff will burn like crazy. Stupid flies, get the fuck out of here. So, okay, right now I'm going to show you all the next 2 wires on how to install this thing. I already showed you guys how to install the SW to your sink and the AL to the back of the motherboard. So, right now the next 2 wires are the second pad from left to right is the AR pad. I can't zoom in video, and you guys can't see it because another wire is blocking the word AR, but it's right there. It's the second wire. So, okay, once you solder your 26 gauge wire to the AR pad, flip your motherboard over, and see if I can do this with one hand. And be careful about that, because your heatsink, it's not very durable at all. I've bent a few layers of metal so far, but that's alright. Okay, measure your wire out after you've soldered it, the other end of the wire to the AR point. Measure it out, make sure you have the right enough length, but not too much slack, because the slack will keep your motherboard from going down in the chassis. So, once you have the right amount, the AR, again, like I said last video, let's try to get a direct view. There's 4 rows of very blurry dots on your screen right now. The AL, 2nd row, 4th one, and the AR is the 4th row, the 4th row and the 4th column. It's this one right here. So, AL, it's right there, AR. You're going to be wanting to do the AR, 4th row, 4th column, soldering point. So, oh shit, another tip. Okay, when you have your wire, it's just, okay, I'm going to try to get a good background like my shorts here. Okay, so you're going to want to strip the wire so you can actually get to the wire. Now, as you can see, this is just plain old wire, no solder on it or anything. So, what you're going to want to do is, to help you solder to the motherboard, get your wire here, take your soldering iron, remembering not to pick it up by that end, of course, and you're going to want to get some solder on your iron. I can't do it with one hand, but just get some solder on your iron and run it along that wire right there. So you have not too much, but just a little solder on that wire, it will help you connect to the motherboard very easily. And then, of course, you also want to do that same technique to the pin on the motherboard, 4th column, 4th row. So what you want to do is put some solder on your iron, of course, and it's going to be sort of a ball. I recommend using this flat tip on a Weller. I don't know what soldering iron you guys will have, if you have one. I suggest this simple one. I got this one for 14 bucks over at Home Depot. It's a Weller, 25 watt, 120 volts. You do not want to go above 25 watts. That's pretty much the maximum you'll want to go for anything on the 360. Right now I'm using the flat tip. So you're going to want to get a ball, and on that point, let's see if I can get a good angle, you're just going to want to drop down and touch to that point to get some extra solder on that point, make it flow easier. So once you have solder on your wire here and on your point, just take your iron and connect the two. Okay, it shouldn't be that hard. It's fairly simple. I had a little trouble getting the solder to stick on these points. I think they're cured, but it shouldn't give you guys much of a problem. So okay, so once you have the AL and AR connected like I showed you, your AR should be wired up completely now. And put that down, and I'll flip the motherboard back over. And be very careful with it. It's like a fucking $400 piece of equipment, so. Okay, next wire you're gonna do is the PO. Okay, that is the 3rd pad from left to right. And I'll show you guys that point on here if I can. You know what? Let's get some tweezers out here. And there's my nice toolbox. I'm so excited I finally got out here to work out here, not my room. Anyway, PO point is right there, 3rd one from left to right. And of course, get some solder on your wire, pre-ready, and solder your wire to that PO switch. And of course, get some solder on the actual pad before you do it. Okay, so once you have your wire soldered to the PO pad, I'm gonna go back here. This one might be kind of hard to explain. Okay, you see those 4 rows that we've been soldering to for the last 2 wires. You're gonna go a little bit down from there, and this is gonna be kind of hard to explain where it is, but I'll try my best. There are 2 rows of solder points. One on top has 7 points, the one on bottom has 6, right there, and it's about 1.5 inches, well, probably just 1 inch from the top set of points we were just soldering to. Okay, so for the PO switch, you're going to go to the bottom row, 3rd one over. So it'll be the 3rd one, bottom row, not the top row, bottom. And you're going to want to solder your PO wire to it. I mean, that might be a little difficult for you. The points are a little closer together, but if you guys have a steady hand, again, you'll need some soldering experience to do this. You'll be fine. I'll try to give you guys an idea of where it is. So let me get an outside, a bigger view of it. Okay, have your board flipped over. Power is on the top left. AV cable on the top right, and right below it, right below these points we're soldering to earlier, is this set of points right here. It's gonna be hard to see, but it's right next to transistor number C3N2. That transistor is right there, and here's the point. So C3N2. That's gonna be kind of hard for you guys to see, but I'm running. It's almost at 10 minutes, and that's my limit. So I'll catch you guys next video after I solder these next wires on, and I'll show you guys how to do that. So stay tuned.